Hi, my name is Lilia. We need to get more girls involved with the STEM fields in order to be equal participants in the future generation of innovators and leaders. I reached out to inspiring role models who are paving the way for women around the world to hear about what they had to say on closing the gender gap. Could you say your name and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Kelsen. I am a gastroenterologist at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and my work focuses on looking at children who have inflammatory bowel disease, and primarily those who are diagnosed when they're very young, and we look at their genetic reasons for developing the disease.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for doing this. I really do appreciate it. Like on to those three questions. So you've had many successes in your career, and I expect your life. Can you share the one that you're most proud of with us?
I think in terms of the career, one of the most important successes is the development of the Very Early Onset IBD program. So we're one of the only programs in the country that have a collaborative translational team where we see patients together, and then we also do all of the genetic workup and immunology workup. And I think it's changed the way that we care for these children, and we're able to identify causes for the disease and then treat them accordingly. They're a really sick population, so I think creating this program has been probably the best, I think, biggest success for me in my career.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like you actually started the whole thing, and really getting, starting something is more difficult than continuing something someone else has kind of already paved the way for.
For hard, but I'm glad we stuck through it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So upon reflection, was there a defining moment in your career that you can share with us?
I think probably when we found in terms of particular part of care, when we found, I think, our first gene that caused a kid who had severe disease, and he really failed all the medical therapy that had been available, but we figured out that he had a gene that needed a bone marrow transplant in order to not only cure his disease but to live. And I think it was at that moment that we realized this is something we should continue to do. It's worth it. We're on the right track. We can totally help kids this way. I think it was at that moment that we realized all that hard work was not just for naught, that we were actually going to be able to do something. I think that was probably the moment that me, my team, as well as those around us realized this is for real.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't know. I think like those moments where you finally get to the next level, or see something that you haven't been able to see before. I think that's super cool, and just being able to do that for someone else is really also amazing.
Yeah, I think it's time that we realized that we could make a difference. So at that point, I think was our moment. Before that, I think it was hard. It was frustrating to set it up. Difficult to get all the pieces in place, and it's easy to give up. So I think power through is the message I would give.
Yeah, I really like that. Not just stopping when it gets hard, but keep on going. And then you're a great example of all that hard work finally paying off, and finally getting able to really help someone. So I guess my last question, has your gender positively or negatively impacted your career, and if so, how?
I mean, I think it's not like there was a stark moment where I felt that gender was a primary issue in success or failure. I think it's just a mindset in academics that you might have a little bit of a harder path at times. I think expectations sometimes are lower in some cases, or you might be the person wearing in a team that they had a female organize to the organizational component of something that just is, it's a little bit part of the mundane process in an academic environment, but it's definitely something that could be over time, I think, bothersome to be the only female in the room. I don't think that my opportunities were limited. I think I had to work harder to prove that as being, in many cases, the only female who was in a senior role or something in a group, to prove that my what I brought to the table was as equally critically important and of value as the next person. I think that has gotten way better over the last few years, but I definitely feel there have been times where I may have been underestimated. That has gotten better. I think that has definitely gotten better. And I think in general, women have a harder time being able to disagree in a way that is taken as equal, as, not as argumentative, but as a different opinion. And that coming through a conversation is sometimes a little bit more challenging than the other males in the room who are disagreeing in a colloquial, good way in order to make progress on the topic. So I think those sorts of things are always there, but I haven't had any failures because I'm a female. I don't think. So I think it's an everyday process, just that you have to maybe speak up more. Sometimes you have to be more assertive in a way that is, it's important. Sometimes I think a woman's way of being assertive sometimes is not perceived as just being assertive, which is, I think, difficult.
Yeah, just kind of off of something that you said, like, is there a way that you've kind of learned to like deal with that, or like how do you maneuver yourself so you're able to like keep on trying, or like kind of, you said that like it's a little bit harder to prove yourself, like how did you find like was a great like good strategy for being able to?
I think in a very competitive environment, I still am in a situation where there was mostly men, and I actually, luckily, I got one of my mentors who is incredibly successful and a professor of genetics, who's a female. And then my other mentors, the next mentor was a female who's also an incredibly full professor, successful person. I think learning from other successful women and having sort of a team where you feel very comfortable and you're able to have discussions and open dialogue has been helpful. Not backing down, I think, is also helpful, making your point in a very calm, rational way. I also find working in a collaborative team has been super helpful and exciting, and also allows me to have my career move forward, has allowed the science to move forward because we're very comfortable with one another. It happens to be mostly a female team for a reason. I don't know why. There's a females, but it's mostly female. And I think getting great mentorship, working in a team where you feel comfortable and sticking to your guns, like stating what you really believe and backing it up with evidence, and never losing your cool, which I think is a little bit difficult at times. But if you can just stay calm and present the data that reflects what you're saying and prove that you're correct, and I think not to get muffled and not to get too disturbed by any comments around you, just stay focused is probably the easiest way. But I think having a mentoring team that is supportive of you, that's focused on your success, and surrounding yourself with a team that works well together and focused on success is one of the best ways to get things to go forward.
I think that's a good idea. How like making your surroundings like helpful and like helped instead of like competitive and like against you is like.
Exactly. They want to be competitive. Your team shouldn't be competitive. And I think incredibly cool and exciting is that I am equally as excited when my colleague gets a grant funded or a paper accepted, and I think that's critical to share joy and help others achieve success. To be generous in terms of that being helpful. It just makes a much nicer, warmer environment, and I think people succeed better. They're able to sort of blossom in an environment that is more welcoming and comfortable. Well, I can at least do that.
No, I think for sure. I think that that's something that's been like common amongst a lot of the women that I've spoken to are saying, it's like uh, more like helpful environments and like finding people that will help you instead of like looking to be like competitive with one another. Like it's important that we all work together. So thank you so much. Those are
Sure.
all the questions that I have.
Sure. I'm sorry for my technical.
Oh, no, not at all. It's not. Thank you so much again.